Let me tell you something right now. You pulled back, created space, thought she'd start blowing up your phone missing you. But here you are, staring at a screen with zero notifications. Nothing. Complete radio silence. And it's driving you insane, isn't it? You bought into this idea that silence would somehow make her realize what she's missing. That she'd come crawling back because you decided to go quiet. But reality's hitting you hard right now. And I'm about to hit you with something even harder. You're doing it all wrong. This isn't just about disappearing. Anyone can ghost. What you're missing is understanding the psychology behind making someone truly feel your absence. Most men completely botch this, and that's exactly what you're doing right now. I'm not here to coddle you. I'm here to give you the brutal reality check you need. So buckle up and pay attention, because I'm about to break down exactly why your silent treatment is failing miserably and what you need to do instead. First things first, silence alone does absolutely nothing if she can predict your every move. You think you're being strategic by not texting, but if she already knows that's your playbook, you've lost before you've even started. Let me put this bluntly. Predictable men are invisible men. She's not missing you because she already knows exactly what you're doing right now. She can picture you perfectly, checking your phone every 5 minutes, scrolling through her social media, waiting for any sign she misses you. And that predictability is killing any attraction she might have had. Women aren't attracted to men they can read like an open book. They're drawn to men who keep them guessing, who make them wonder, what is he up to now? When was the last time you genuinely surprised her? When was the last time you did something she never saw coming? This is where most guys completely miss the mark. They think silence creates mystery, but silence without action is just absence. And absence without impact is forgettable. You need to shatter her expectations completely. If she's used to seeing you post daily stories about your boring routine, either disappear entirely or start showing a completely different side of your life. If she expects you to stay home on weekends, get out there and start living a life that makes her double take when she hears about it. The moment she can't predict what you're doing next is the moment you start occupying space in her mind again. Because humans are hardwired to pay attention to things that don't fit our expected patterns. We notice change. We're curious about inconsistency. So stop being the predictable guy who's obviously just waiting around. Start being the guy that makes her think, wait, what's happening here? Here's another cold, hard fact you need to swallow. Women don't miss people. They miss the feelings those people gave them. If your absence doesn't create an emotional void in her life, she has zero reason to want you back. Most men completely fail here. They go silent but remain exactly the same person. They're still the same mediocre guy, just quieter. That's not how this works. Ask yourself honestly, and I mean brutally honestly, what value were you adding to her life? Were you exciting? Were you someone she admired? Did you challenge her in ways that made her grow? Or were you just there? If you weren't bringing substantial value before, why would she notice when that value is gone? I'm not talking about buying her things or always being available. I'm talking about being a man with direction, purpose, and genuine passion that's contagious. The kind of man other people, not just her, want to be around. This silence isn't your chance to sit around feeling sorry for yourself. It's your opportunity to transform into someone even you didn't know you could become. Someone who commands attention without asking for it. Get in the gym and don't just go through the motions. Transform your physique. Pick up that skill you've been putting off. Travel somewhere you've never been. Push yourself beyond what's comfortable. Create a life so engaging that people notice the change in you without you having to announce it. Because when she eventually sees glimpses of your transformation, whether through mutual friends, social media, or running into you, she needs to feel like she's looking at a version of you she never knew existed. That's when doubt creeps in. That's when she starts wondering if she made a mistake. Men who level up during silence aren't just trying to get someone back. They're becoming someone who doesn't need to try at all. If you think she's going to immediately notice you're gone and fall apart, you're delusional. That's not how human psychology works. At first, she might not care at all. She might even feel relieved that you're not texting. The human mind doesn't register absence immediately. It registers disruption of patterns over time. And this is where patience becomes your ally. Silence isn't just about not communicating. It's about creating an emotional echo that gets louder the longer it goes on. Think about it. When someone first goes missing from your life, you might barely notice. But as days turn into weeks, you start remembering things they said, places you went together, inside jokes you shared. Those memories start to surface randomly, creating small emotional triggers. A song comes on that reminds her of you. She passes a restaurant you used to go to. Someone mentions something that brings up a memory of you. And each time, there's a tiny emotional response. But here's the crucial part. When those memories surface, what image of you comes with them? Is it the image of a man who's clearly just waiting around? Or is it the image of someone who's moving forward with confidence? This is where your transformation during silence becomes powerful. Because when those memories trigger, they'll be immediately contrasted with whatever new information she's gathering about you now. And that contrast is what creates emotional impact. The guys who fail at this are the ones who go silent, but make sure everyone knows they're miserable without her. They post sad quotes. They make sure mutual friends know they're going through a tough time. That's not creating an emotional void, it's creating pity. And pity kills attraction faster than almost anything else. Instead, you need to give her space to feel your absence without you announcing it. Let her discover the gap you've left, but also let her discover that you're thriving despite it. That combination is what makes someone truly feel the weight of your absence. This isn't about playing mind games. It's about understanding that genuine growth and emotional impact take time. You're not trying to get a reaction tomorrow. You're creating the conditions for her to naturally start questioning her decision over time. I'm watching you right now. You're nodding along to everything I'm saying, but you're still checking your phone every 5 minutes hoping she texted. You're still scrolling through her social media looking for signs she misses you. You're still mentally tracking how long it's been since you last communicated. And guess what? She can sense that energy from a mile away. There's a massive difference between strategically creating space and desperately hoping that space makes her come back. One works, the other fails every time. Real detachment isn't a strategy you employ to get her back. It's a genuine state of mind where you're truly at peace with the possibility that she may never return. And paradoxically, that genuine detachment is what creates the strongest pull. Women have an almost supernatural ability to detect when a man is still emotionally hooked on them, even from a distance. They can feel the neediness in your silence. They can sense when your absence is just a tactic rather than a genuine shift in focus. So how do you truly let go? It starts with radical honesty with yourself. Are you creating space because you genuinely need to refocus on yourself? Or are you just trying to manipulate a specific outcome? If you can't honestly say you're at peace with her never coming back, you're not detached. You're just playing a game. And she'll sense that game from a mile away. True detachment comes from redirecting your energy completely, from being so consumed with your own growth, your own goals, your own life, that you genuinely have less emotional energy to invest in, wondering what she's thinking. When you reach that state where you're truly invested in your own path forward, something shifts in your energy that others can feel. You stop being the guy who's obviously just waiting for her to notice his silence. You become the guy who's genuinely moving forward with or without her. And that shift in energy is what makes her question everything. Because humans value what they think they might lose. When she realizes you're not just playing a waiting game, that you're actually creating a life that doesn't require her presence, that's when the real questions start. Did I misjudge him? Is he really different from what I thought? Am I making a mistake by letting him go? Those questions don't come when she senses you're just temporarily silent. They come when she senses you're permanently changed. But here's the brutal truth that most guys don't want to hear. By the time you truly reach that state of detachment, you might not even want her back anymore. And that's when you finally understood what this process was actually about. It was never about getting her back. It was about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to use silence as a strategy, because his presence speaks for itself. So, stop checking your phone. Stop monitoring her social media. Stop counting the days since you last spoke. Start counting the achievements you're racking up instead. Start measuring your growth. Start building the kind of life that would make anyone, not just her, want to be part of it. Because silence without transformation is just waiting. And waiting is the opposite of what makes someone miss you. Let's assume you've actually listened to what I've said so far. You've broken your predictable patterns. You've started genuinely leveling up. You've created space for her to feel your absence. And you've actually managed to detach instead of just pretending to. Now comes the critical moment that most men completely botch. She finally reaches out. Maybe it's a casual "hey" text. Maybe she comments on your social media. Maybe she asks a mutual friend about you. Whatever form it takes, this is the moment where most guys throw away all their progress in an instant. And I can practically see you doing it already. The moment that notification hits, you're ready to respond within seconds, pour out everything you've been feeling, and essentially reveal that this whole time, you've just been waiting for her to notice your absence. Stop right there. How you handle this moment will determine whether all your work pays off or gets completely wasted. And I'm about to give you the unfiltered truth about exactly what to do when she finally breaks the silence. The number one mistake men make when she finally reaches out? Responding too damn quickly and revealing too much enthusiasm. Nothing kills attraction faster than showing her that despite all your growth, you were still just sitting around waiting for her attention. When that text finally comes through, resist the urge to respond immediately. I don't care if you've been waiting weeks for this moment. I don't care how excited you are to see her name on your screen. Act like you've got a life that doesn't revolve around waiting for her messages. Because by now, you should. Wait at least a few hours before responding. And when you do respond, keep it brief, positive, and slightly mysterious. If she asks what you've been up to, don't give her a detailed report of all your self-improvement efforts. That screams, "I did all this to impress you." Instead, say something like, "Been focused on some new projects lately. Life's been good." That's it. No elaborate explanations, no detailed updates, no emotional revelations. Why? Because you're not trying to prove anything to her. You're not trying to show her how much you've changed. You're just continuing to live your life, and she's getting a small glimpse of it. Remember this fundamental truth: information is power. The less information you freely give, the more she'll want to know. Human beings are naturally curious creatures. We want what seems slightly out of reach. We're intrigued by what we don't fully understand. If she sends a longer message, don't match her length. Keep your response shorter than hers. If she asks multiple questions, it's okay to answer them, but do it concisely. Don't volunteer additional information she didn't ask for. And for the love of God, don't ask how she's been unless she's already asked you first. Don't show more interest in her life than she's showing in yours. Match her investment level or stay slightly below it. This isn't about playing games. It's about respecting yourself enough not to instantly drop everything the moment she decides to acknowledge your existence again. Once contact has been reestablished, You need to be extremely careful about maintaining the new dynamic you've created. This is where most men slip back into old patterns without even realizing it. Remember that new, unpredictable, leveled up version of yourself you've been working on? That needs to remain consistent. Don't suddenly become available 24/7. Don't start texting her daily just because the door's open again. Don't rearrange your schedule to accommodate her. You've worked hard to establish a new reality where you're focused on your own path. Stick to it. When she suggests meeting up, and if you've done everything right, she eventually will, don't jump at the first opportunity she offers. Suggest an alternative time that works better for your schedule. This subtly communicates that while you're open to seeing her, your life doesn't revolve around her availability. When you do meet, pay close attention to your body language and energy. Don't lean in too much. Don't stare at her like you've been dying to see her face again. Maintain relaxed, confident body language that suggests you're perfectly comfortable in your own skin. The conversation should focus primarily on the present and future, not the past. Don't bring up what went wrong between you unless she does. Don't ask why she disappeared or why she's back now. Act as if her absence was completely expected and her return is neither surprising nor overwhelming. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about maintaining the frame that you're a man with options, purpose, and self-respect. You can be warm, engaging, and present while still maintaining healthy boundaries and expectations. Most importantly, don't slip into seeking her approval. Don't ask if she likes the changes you've made. Don't fish for compliments about your new physique or lifestyle. The moment you start seeking validation is the moment you begin to lose the respect you've built. Remember, she should be wondering whether she fits into your new life, not whether you still want her in it. If there's one mistake I see men make over and over again, it's rushing to formalize the reconnection the moment she shows interest again. They immediately push for commitment, exclusivity, or clear definition of what's happening. That's a rookie move, and it signals desperation. Reconnection is not an event, it's a process, and it needs to happen organically, with her investing progressively more over time. Each step should feel natural, not forced or manipulated. Start with brief text exchanges, then perhaps a phone call, then a casual meetup in a public place with a defined time limit. I can grab coffee, but I have plans at 8. Then maybe something more extensive. Let each interaction build naturally to the next without pressuring for more. Throughout this process, continue living your improved life. Continue posting about your activities, not for her, but because it's genuinely what you're doing. Continue pursuing your goals. Continue expanding your social circle. She needs to see that your growth wasn't temporary bait to lure her back. It's your new, permanent reality. This gradual approach serves multiple purposes. First, it gives you both time to evaluate whether reconnection is actually what you want. Now that you've grown, you might realize she doesn't fit your life anymore, or she might realize she's not ready for the new version of you. Better to discover this slowly than to rush back into a situation that still won't work. Second, it builds much stronger attraction than immediately jumping back into intensity. Anticipation is a powerful force in human psychology. When something unfolds gradually, we value it more than what comes easily. Third, it gives you time to establish the new dynamics of the relationship. If you rush back in, you'll likely fall into old patterns. But with a gradual approach, you can establish new, healthier dynamics from the start. Don't make the mistake of thinking that re-establishing contact means you've won and can now relax back into your old ways. This is just the beginning of a new phase that requires even more awareness and intention than the silence did. If she's reaching out after a period of silence, be prepared for her to test your new frame. This isn't because women are manipulative, it's because human beings naturally test boundaries to see what's real and what's just for show. She might suddenly pull back again to see if you chase. She might bring up past issues to see if you get defensive. She might try to get you to admit how much you missed her. She might even try to make you jealous by mentioning other men. These aren't necessarily conscious tactics. They're often subconscious attempts to determine if your transformation is genuine or just a strategy to get her back. Your response to these tests is crucial. If you react emotionally, get jealous, become defensive, or immediately chase when she pulls back, you've revealed that nothing has fundamentally changed. You're still the same guy, just with some new hobbies and maybe a better physique. But if you remain centered, unbothered, and consistent regardless of her tests, you demonstrate that your change is bone deep, that you genuinely have become someone new, not just someone pretending to be new. When she tests you, and she will, respond with calm confidence. Don't get dragged into arguments about the past. Don't react with jealousy to mentions of other men. Don't chase if she suddenly becomes distant again. Just continue being the new, improved version of yourself without explanation or apology. Your consistent behavior over time will speak louder than any words could. Here's something most advice never covers. By the time she reaches out, you might realize you don't actually want her back. The process of genuine growth often changes not just how others see you, but how you see yourself and what you want. Many men who successfully implement these principles find themselves in an unexpected position. The woman they were trying to get back suddenly seems less appealing than the new options their improved life has created. This isn't about becoming arrogant. It's about honest reassessment based on your new standards and perspective. Ask yourself tough questions. Does she add real value to your life beyond just validating your ego by coming back? Does she complement the new path you're on? Is she capable of growing alongside you? Or was getting her back just about proving you could? Many men realize that what they actually wanted wasn't this specific woman back. It was to heal their wounded ego. They wanted proof they were worthy. And once they've built that worth internally, the external validation becomes far less important. Don't cling to an outdated desire just because it was once important to you. Be honest about whether she still fits the man you've become. Because here's the brutal truth. Sometimes, the real victory isn't getting her back. Sometimes it's realizing you've outgrown what you thought you wanted. And that realization, that genuine self-awareness, is worth more than any reconciliation could ever be. Everything I've outlined so far works for one simple reason. It's not actually about tricks or tactics. It's about genuine transformation. The men who succeed at making women miss them aren't the ones who employ the cleverest disappearing act. They're the ones who use absence as an opportunity to become truly better men. Because at the end of the day, no strategy can fake genuine growth. You can pretend to be confident, pretend to be interesting, pretend to be fulfilled without her. But humans are remarkably adept at sensing what's authentic and what's performance. True attraction, the kind that makes someone truly miss you and want you back in their life, isn't created through manipulation. It's created through becoming genuinely magnetic. It's about becoming someone who adds so much value to those around them that your absence creates a genuine void. So, as you implement these principles, remember, the goal isn't just to get her back. The goal is to become the kind of man who naturally attracts what he wants without having to chase it. The kind of man who's at peace with himself regardless of who stays or goes. Because that man, that centered, purposeful, continuously improving man, is attractive not just to her, but to everyone he encounters. And that's the real power of transformation. Not that it might bring one specific person back into your life, but that it expands your life so much that their absence stops defining you altogether. By now, you should understand the psychology behind making someone miss you and how to handle the initial reconnection. But there's more to this game than just getting her to text back. There's the harsh reality of what comes after, something most advice conveniently leaves out. So let's cut through the bullshit and talk about what happens next. Because even if you've executed everything perfectly so far, there are still major pitfalls ahead that can sabotage everything you've built. First thing you need to drill into your head. Whatever relationship you had before is completely gone, dead, buried. It doesn't exist anymore. And trying to resurrect it is the fastest way to fail. Too many guys make this critical mistake. They get her attention back, start reconnecting, and immediately try to pick up exactly where things left off. They reference old inside jokes. They suggest going to the same places. They try to recreate what once was. That's a one-way ticket to disaster. The relationship ended for a reason. Going back to the same dynamics, the same patterns, the same behaviors will inevitably lead to the same outcome. Einstein defined insanity as doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting different results. Don't be insane. If you reconnect, it needs to be as two completely different people, forming something entirely new. Not trying to fix what broke, but creating something that never existed before. This means letting go of old expectations, letting go of past resentments, letting go of the way things used to be. None of that serves you anymore. You're not trying to get back together. You're potentially starting something completely new with someone you have history with. That mindset difference is crucial. This also means you need to have completely new conversations. Don't fall back into old topics and patterns. Talk about your new interests. Ask about things you never discussed before. Create fresh connection points rather than trying to rekindle old ones. The old relationship failed. If you want something that works, you need to build it from scratch, not try to renovate a condemned building. During reconciliation, there's an overwhelming temptation to compromise on your standards, just to keep the peace. To overlook red flags because you're relieved she's back. To let small disrespect slide because you don't want to rock the boat. This is exactly what will send you back to square one. If you've done the work I outlined earlier, you've evolved. You've raised your standards, you've built a better life. Do not, under any circumstances, lower those standards now, just because she's showing interest again. In fact, your standards should be higher than before. You're not the same man who accepted whatever treatment she offered previously. You're someone who knows his worth and expects interactions that reflect that worth. This means calling out disrespect immediately. It means being willing to walk away if your boundaries are crossed. It means expecting consistent effort and investment from her, not just occasional attention when it's convenient. Many men are so afraid of losing her again that they become doormats. They think, if I just make this easy for her, she'll stay. That's the exact opposite of what works. Women don't value what comes without effort or challenge. They value what they have to work for. Your willingness to enforce standards, even if it means risking the reconnection, is precisely what makes you more valuable in her eyes. It communicates that you're a man with options who chooses his relationships based on quality, not desperation. Remember, you're auditioning her for a role in your new life, not begging for a callback to your old one. When reconnection starts happening, you'll likely hear a lot of promising things. How much she's missed you, how she's changed, how things will be different now, how she realizes what she lost. Do not, I repeat, do not make decisions based on these words. Words are cheap. Anyone can say anything in a moment of emotion or attraction. What matters is consistent action over time. Is she actually making you a priority or just fitting you in when it's convenient? Is she initiating contact or just responding when you reach out? Is she suggesting plans or just accepting yours? Is she bringing the same energy and effort you are? Or is there a persistent imbalance? These patterns tell you everything you need to know about where you actually stand with her, regardless of what she's saying. Many men get seduced by beautiful apologies and promises of change, only to find themselves right back in the same dysfunctional patterns weeks later. Don't be one of them. Set a mental timeline, maybe 30 days, where you consciously observe her actions without making any significant relationship decisions. No matter what she says during this period, just watch what she does. This isn't about being cynical, it's about being smart. P. After everything I've taught you, here's the harshest truth of all. Sometimes, no matter what you do, she's not coming back. And that's completely fine. Not every connection is meant to last. Not every relationship can or should be saved. Sometimes the greatest gift is a relationship ending, so you can become who you're truly meant to be. If you've implemented everything I've outlined and she's still not back in your life, it doesn't mean you've failed. It means you've succeeded in becoming someone new, someone who now has the opportunity to connect with people who appreciate the man you've become, not the man you used to be. The real purpose of this entire process was never about manipulating someone into coming back. It was about becoming so internally strong, so purposeful, so complete within yourself that you no longer need specific people to validate your worth. From that place of inner strength, you can build relationships based on mutual choice rather than attachment or fear. You can connect from abundance rather than scarcity. You can love freely because you don't need love to complete you. And that internal transformation is worth infinitely more than getting any specific person back into your life. So take these principles, apply them, grow through the process. But remember that the real measure of success isn't about her at all. It's about who you become along the way. Stay focused on your growth. Keep pushing your boundaries. Continue building a life that excites you, and let everything else fall into place naturally. Because a man who's living with purpose, growing continuously and maintaining high standards will never lack options, in relationships or anywhere else. That's the ultimate truth behind making someone miss you. When you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you become someone that everyone misses when you're gone.